Thank you so much for joining this webinar today. Welcome to Labster. My name is Mary. I am the Director of Scientific Partnerships for Illinois, and I will be walking through the presentation today. Just a reminder, if anyone has any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to send them in the chat and I will address them at the end here. So just a quick agenda of what we're going to cover today in the next 20 minutes. Who we are, just a little bit about Labster, building Labster into your course, kind of what that looks like, the implementation process, and questions and answers at the end, and potential next steps. So just to give everyone a little bit of background about Labster, we actually began as an outreach project at the University of Copenhagen in 2013, and our co-founder was a PhD student who was in charge of the intro labs. There was a serious lack of overall student engagement, motivation, and retention of knowledge within his classroom. And the current lab teaching methods were ineffective, expensive, or just severely limited by the time and resources. So this led to the development of Labster. And since COVID, as you can imagine, we've grown pretty rapidly. We've actually helped over 3 million students across the country who've incorporated Labster, which is really exciting for us. And as we continue to grow, we do realize that there's many different ways that students are going to benefit from our simulations. So the top 3 that you see here are lab safety, mastering techniques, and just seeing things that they can't see in the real world. Simulations are a way to give students the ability to retry and experiment in a safe, cost-effective environment on their own terms. And here are some of the global partners and universities we are working with today. And there are several different ways Labster can kind of be used. So at the University of Florida, for example, they're using Labster in both face-to-face and online development biology courses. And at ASU, they implemented Labster into an online ecology course to provide unlimited access to lab practice for students, also in remote locations, which allowed them to provide more value for less through scalability of the resources here. And we did partner with Harvard a little while ago, which was also really exciting as well. And we currently offer a catalog with over 130 simulations. And these are some of the most common courses that we work with today. Okay, now I'm just gonna play a quick video here.
What if you could give you...
Sorry, I do just wanna mute this. Sorry, just 1 second. Sorry, just 1 moment while I get this figured out. Just please hold for 1 second.
What if you could give your students access to a fully equipped $1 million laboratory that engages them in science through a highly immersive learning experience? With Labster, you can. Labster offers students access to a realistic lab experience that will let them perform experiments and practice their skills in a fun and risk-free learning environment. Students learn with the help of theory pages and quiz questions and experience immersive 3D simulations that visualize life science down to the molecular level. This helps them understand abstract concepts and master difficult techniques. They are challenged with true-to-life scenarios and missions, stimulating their curiosity and highlighting the connection between science and the real world. Virtual labs are not limited by the time and cost restraints of a physical lab, so students can try out cutting-edge lab equipment, learn from their mistakes in a safe environment, and perform experiments not usually possible in a face-to-face class. Research shows that students learn twice as much when traditional lectures are supplemented by Labster's virtual labs. Get Labster today and help empower the next generation of scientists to change the world.
Okay, great. Sorry about that technical difficulties earlier, but just a couple things I do want to touch on in that video. So each simulation is a gamified case study covering 1 to 2 lectures and 1 lab practical session. It typically takes the student around 45 minutes to complete, depending on their skill level. And each simulation is graded and the platform is integrated into your learning management system as well. And the students are required to complete every step that they would in the real wet lab, so they can learn the lab protocol and such. Next, I'm going to hop over here to the faculty resource page. So just a side note as well, if anyone after the call is interested in kind of having more access to this and setting up a call with one of our representatives, just let us know in the chat and we will have the appropriate representative reach out to you to set up a call with you. But this is set up not as like a package deal. It's set up as more of a buffet style. So I will just go into general bio here and click on a pretty popular simulation, acids and bases. And I will just go ahead and hit play here and kind of skip around. So all of our simulations, they start with a scenario. So the students know what problem that they have to solve. And the students are actually following the directions on the lab pad, which you can see right here that just popped up. And they're actually using their computer mouse to click on the lab equipment and work through the lab protocol. So the students play this video, and then you as the instructor, you don't actually have to worry about coaching your students on how to actually use this. It's very self-serving, which is nice. Again, they have to follow the same lab protocol. They have to put on their lab coat, their gloves, everything before they start mixing the solutions. And then one great feature too is it does allow the students some freedom and flexibility to kind of make mistakes. A lot of other applications, we've gotten feedback, they just don't let you do that. And the student can play the simulations more than once if they want. If they get, if they don't get a good score the first time around, it is automatically graded for you, every one that they complete. And then just a couple things I want to point out too on this page. On the right here, if you hit play simulation, you will actually get you can play this as if you were a student. This is obviously more for the faculty page, what I'm showing you. And then you can download the quiz questions, read more about the theory, the lab manual. And then if you scroll down on each of the simulations, you can see the techniques used in the lab, what the learning objectives are, and roughly how long the simulation will take each student. And each simulation that you do go into, it's laid out the same exact way as well. Great. So just to kind of move along here, on the left hand side here of the study here, our first publication, natural biotechnology. The study showed improvements in both learning outcomes and knowledge retention with the implementation of Labster at the Technical University of Denmark. So the study showed a 76% higher increase in knowledge for the group using the virtual lab compared to the group that learned the same material in a lecture. And we also wanted to study how Labster could be used to flip the classroom. So for the second section of this study, we assessed the impact of learning using Labster in a combination with a traditional lecture. And the result was a 101% increase in learning outcomes compared to traditional teaching alone. And then on the right-hand side here, CSU Northridge decided to move one of their introductory to biology course online. It serves over 2,000 students per year. And before Labster, they had a 80% pass rate. And after Labster, they were actually able to increase that to a 95% pass rate. So that means they were actually able to help 300 more students pass the course. And we just like to highlight here an example of course mapping. So if this is something that you meet with the representative about, it seems like it is going to be a good fit. We do offer course mapping for you. Here's just what the snapshot looks like for how your weeks will be set up within your semester, whichever one you choose to use Labster for. And for the rollout process, basically how this works is we can do the course mapping for you. We map out the competencies and then we actually import this into your LMS system. So we do have a customer success team who will reach out and actually set everything up on the tech side and the back end for you as well, which is great. That only takes about 20 minutes or so. And just in closing here, Labster is going to benefit your students in a variety of ways, which is the 6 that you see here. The one that we get kind of the most positive feedback is the interactive quizzes. So if the student does get an answer wrong during the simulation, they actually do have to go back, read more about the theory, and try to get the correct answer. And we do like to recap just kind of our pricing options here. So just starting on the left-hand side here is our full access package. So this is $99 per student. You can see what this all includes here with the check marks. It will give you full access to our 140 plus simulations, the LMS integration as well. Can be paid for by the student or by the institution. And then the starter access, that's $49 per student. This will give you up to 8 simulations to choose from, but this is, you get to choose any 8 that you want, even if they're in other different categories on the faculty resource page, which is really great too. And then this is the only one that does not integrate with your particular LMS system. We actually have Labster Direct for this, but those grades are automatically graded as well, and very straightforward and easy to use for you. And you also have that live chat support as well. And then the institution access, this is our kind of our site license option. So this basically gives you a 12-month, it's a 12-month agreement, and it gives access to every single student at the university, access to Labster, any simulations that you want, with obviously every faculty member involved as well. This price here, it does say $60,000. That is an estimate based on the enrollment per school. So, you know, that can obviously vary depending on the school that we're working with. But that obviously comes with all of the bells and whistles, which you see here, which is great. Obviously has that LMS integration as well. And that is pretty much it and wraps up everything. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. And like I said, if you would like more information, we can definitely have a representative reach out to you, but I'll just hang on for another minute. Okay, so looks like the first question, can I have a link of this? So to answer that, a member of our Labster team will actually follow up with you to provide you the link to the faculty resource page. So I'll take care of that after this call. And then Jan asked, are there any simulations that can be used with VR goggles and gloves? So to answer that, we were compatible with Google Daydream VR, but Google has been disconnected. Discontinued. So we don't have plans with VR at this moment. And I think we have a few more. Okay, so this question's from Christine asking how many students minimum. So for institution access, is it $60 per student? How can I try out Labster? Yep, so there's no minimum number for the institution access. The pricing ranges from the 49 to the 99 option, and we can give you more information on that as well and follow up with you in an email to kind of break that down for you, Christine. And then Richard is asking, do you have or do you know of any planned simulations for bone and muscle identification? So we don't, unfortunately, at this moment, but we will definitely pass that request along. We're always giving that feedback to our product team and continuing to add simulations. And then another question, how many of the 140 plus simulations are physics sim? So we have about 10 for our physics simulations. And then one more question, can I have a representative talk to me? Appreciate it. Yes, we will absolutely do that. Tabitha, we will reach out to you after this call. Okay, and then the next question, can you give us a code for coupon to try the website for someday? So we don't have a coupon, but we can reach out to give complimentary access to the faculty resource page for review. So we can offer that. Okay, I think there's just a few more coming through, so I want to hang on for another minute. Okay, Christine asking what support can we get? What support can we get if we've bought Labster? So we have online support. We have online support, and you also have a customer success manager as well, who is able to help out at any time. Okay, and then the next question. Great introduction, thank you. Do you have analytics simulations? Some examples. So we do have some that are including the HPLC to answer that question. Yeah, and it looks like some of the other questions, you're just really asking for access, which is great. So we'll be sure to follow up with everyone today or at the latest tomorrow. So you can get the information that you need with that specific representative who will be in touch with you. And I think that might be it. Just oh, we have one more question asking about, do we have any food analysis labs? So I don't believe that we do. We will have to double check on that for you though, and can follow up in an email if we do and send the link to that simulation if we do offer that. Okay, and then it looks like we have another one. Okay, is there any proctoring options? We don't not within Labster, unfortunately, Richard. Okay, and then another one from Jan. How many simulations are for secondary education? So I would say majority of our simulations are intended for secondary education level. And we have many that align with A&P standards as well. Okay, and then another one Astrid is asking, is it possible to modify variables in the simulations? So yes, students can modify variables in many of our labs. And then to kind of go off of that, is it possible to give students a version without the quiz in it before applying the simulation with the quiz? So no, unfortunately, the quiz questions are integrated kind of throughout the entire simulation there. Okay, and another one from Christine. Can you demonstrate a lab with PCR? My colleagues saying it got blocked. So PCR should still be available. We can have your customer success manager reach out to you about that to assist you. Okay, and then really good question. What languages do we support? So we do support multiple, and translating our simulations is a main focus for this year for sure. So we have simulations available in English, French, Spanish, and Japanese. Okay, and to follow that question, is there any VR labs? So with headsets, no, since Google Daydream was discontinued by Google, but it's still quite interactive being played on a computer. Okay, and if anyone has any last minute ones, feel free to submit them. We're almost at the half-hour mark here as well. All right, another one. What is the meaning of Labster? What is the story of this name? So yeah, just to kind of reiterate that, we started at the University of Copenhagen, and it's kind of meant to be a fun name referring to labs. And another question, can these simulations be used for undergraduate courses? Absolutely. Most of our users are undergraduate students. Okay, one more. Can you have, as a teacher, a student account to try for a year? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by this question, but Christine, we will be following up with you anyway because you asked a few too that we need to follow up with you, so we can get some clarification there. Okay, and then one more, asking the labs is level, schools and universities. So both our labs span from high school levels to the undergraduate and graduate levels as well. Okay, another question off of that is the lab contain one topic or a full lab? So these are a full lab experience. They may focus on one or multiple topics. All right, awesome. So I think that's it for the questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We'll be following up with everyone in here that needs some kind of clarification and answers to your questions. But thank you so much for your time, and we will talk to everyone soon. Have a good day. Bye-bye.